Before even beginning this review, I have to go ahead and address the elephant in the room. And one that has got my mind so full of just... woo! That we cannot even begin this review without addressing it. So! Buckle up and prepare your butts for a verbal ass whooping. I'm about to give you one hell of a rant about this, because believe me, I have been sitting on this one for a while now. The product I'm talking about today is, of course, the Taginn ML36 grenade launcher, which in of itself is an ingenuity marvel and something that is actually relatively new and semi-proprietary, I guess you could say, when it comes to the internals, but we'll get to that in a second. But I'm sorry. When I was told this, when I was told by my buddy who actually works with Taginn that I was getting this, my immediate reaction was this.
Yes! Jesus H. Goddamn Christ! I have seen the light!
And then when I found out the price tag, my reaction was this.
Excuse me, what? What? What the fuck? Bullshit.
And you're probably wondering what price tag it is that has got my voice raising so much and got my anger boiling over like pasta punesca on a Saturday night.
Well, we're waiting.
Well, fuckaroos! The fuck-sickle am I talking about? Well, the fuck-sickle I'm talking about is, of course, the price tag of the ML36 Taginn grenade launcher by itself is $800!
What? 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 What?
You did not hear me incorrectly, ladies and gentlemen. You heard correctly. $800!
You serious?
Okay, motherfucker, let's go ahead and have a powwow now. Let's go ahead and have a fucking powwow right now, because I'm going to tell you right fucking now, no! Unless you are Scrooge McDick, or the Monopoly guy, or McMoneybags, or even anyone in the top 1%, or near the 1%, no one in their mother, or anyone in their right goddamn minds, outside of Spartan 117GW, will drop $800 on a grenade launcher. No. And this is something I want to bring up to you, asshole. Do you know what the most expensive grenade launcher besides the ML36 is in Airsoft? The Squirrel grenade launcher by Evike, which comes with the gun itself, a mock suppressor, and a red dot. $610, and with them slashing it out, it's now $500. Close to $500, mind you, because I know it's got that little but that's $500 to $600 grenade launcher, but that's a package. And I hear you saying, but Al, it's probably a package, am I right? No! The ML36 comes by itself for $800.
Wow.
I'm going to go one step further. The Scarface kit is under $200. The Scarface with the GMP M16, that is under $400. I'm gonna go one step further, assholes. The most expensive grenade launcher by itself is a $500 grenade launcher by either Matrix or GMP or some other company. I cannot remember exactly because these companies are all around them, and I was doing tons of research. But the most expensive launcher itself, and I mean launcher as in a system that lobs around downrange, is probably the bazookas. The AT4, which is close to $700. And the M9A1 bazooka, which is also close to the $600 price mark. Do you see the problem here? In the US market, the most expensive grenade launcher is around $600. They're not going over $200. They're not going over $100. No, it is $600 price tag.
Dumbass! You dumbass! You're a dumbass. Such a dumbass.
And yet, my Ruski friends, you decide to drop a $800 price tag on this thing. I'm sorry. You know what you can do? You know how bad it is? The fact that you are doing this. I mean, I understand. I understand. And before anyone starts jumping down my throat, understand this now. I get it. The rubles to U.S. currency is probably different. There's probably a huge, stark difference between the rubles and the U.S. dollar. But the fact that they are asking for an $800 MSRP is completely fucking ridiculous and the most expensive goddamn thing on the market. I'm sorry, but in reality, the common man, especially me myself, and I've been looking at these things, a common man's airsofter is going to look at the other grenade launchers and the M203s that are under $70. They are not going to spend over $100 on a grenade launcher. Now, with that said, with all that put out there, you asking for $800 makes you seem like this.
We've got to have money.
Because fuck you, give me money! Fuck you, give me money!
Now I've said my piece on that. And with the rant out of the way, here's the real question. Is the launcher itself any good? Well, let's find out, shall we? Now, to kind of answer the question if it's worth it, that's going to be down the line. Here's the thing, though. This is, in fact, made in Russia. Oh, Russia, the place of hard brass, gubniks, and the squatting Slav.
Пацаны, спортивка жмы, школа танцев учит вас. Правильно писать харбас, в клубе до утра топтать и ничего не принимать. Будьте рады из беды, наши злейшие враги. На площадках мы похвас, отожгем для вас хардбас. Бас, бас, хардбас, бас, бас, хардбас, бас, бас, хардбас. Отожгем для вас хардбас, бас, бас, хардбас, бас, бас, хардбас, бас, бас, хардбас. Отожгем для вас хардбас, бас, бас, хардбас.
Anyway, the grenade launcher itself, although I don't know the exact model it's replicating, is in itself an interesting system. Now, the back end of it, of course, which I have accidentally lost the back plug to this. I may have... That was my bad, of course. Anyway, so, this system itself is really interesting, but the grenade launcher, which we will talk about, is one that I really, really want to talk about because engineering-wise, it's... And this is the thing, I don't want to be called a liar, so you may correct me if I'm wrong, but this system in itself is wholly unique and completely a brand new style of system in terms of gas system, because the way it works is you would take this, of course, you push it up right there, you take a CO2 cartridge, which this right here, apparently, I don't know if this actually does anything, but I think this is wholly independent of itself. I don't know if it does do anything. It's just weird. Anyway, though, you take this, you pop in 12 grams CO2. You would then line that back up, pop it in there. Okay, so I'm supposed to keep it like that. Put it in there. Now this is where the iron sight is, but let me see if I can't find a pointer somewhere. Here we go. A pointer, after which, of course, you take this, you press this, and after the CO2 is punctured, it then, of course, pops back forward, which that is the rear sight, by the way. The CO2 then immediately takes a gas reservoir, starts pushing gas through the system itself, all the way through here, to a connecting point, which is right here, all the way into the system, which this right here then, of course, becomes like this, more or less. It becomes depressured, more or less. It basically, because of all the, that's the best way. Basically, it becomes like that. At which point, when you pull the trigger, a smart valve system, like a smart AR, like a smart air restrictor on a lot of things, then fires off a spout of CO2, which then activates the grenades, which I'm going to get into the grenades in a totally separate video in themselves, because we're going to talk about those, which then just shoots off. It really does. The system itself is amazing, and I cannot just speak volumes about it. Now, going on to the actual back assembly, which is completely sold separately, again, we'll get to that in a bit, this works off somewhat the same way. There is, in fact, a CO2 valve up in here, which does work, which you can do it one of two ways. You can work it off the same reservoir, which is on the actual launcher itself, or you can use this, which holds two 12-gram CO2s. And once again, I think I know where the back end, I think, of this is, but once again, same thing, except the back end you would actually twist or push inward, I believe. Either way, though, the thing about it is that you can take this grip off, you can take this off, and you can put your mag pulls, your Daniel Defense, you can do whatever the hell you want with this. But the big thing about it is the actual rail system, because the rails you can take off, and you can put on whatever you want. Another thing is that this body right here is, I want to say, it is metal, but the actual launcher itself, it's not. The barrel is polymer. This right here is polymer. The actual body, which is this right here, the trigger is metal, this is metal. The parts that need to be metal are metal to withstand and help with the CO2 pressure, more or less. Now, the cool thing about this is that because it doesn't use standard Picatinny-style locking systems, you can put this on a variety of things, like, say, a revolving carbine. You don't want a revolving carbine? That's fine then. Let's say you want to put on your Elite Force M4. That's perfectly fine. Don't want to put on your M4? Well, let's say you want to put on your Magpul PTSM 16A1 project, just to give it that complete over-tactical look of gooks slaying in the 21st century. You get what I'm saying, folks? Doesn't matter the type of Picatinny rail, it will fit on damn near anything. Damn near. But, in saying that, there are some neat features about this that I actually do want to talk about. So let's actually break it down, shall we? Now, the actual way you would tighten it down, which if you hadn't seen it already of me unloosing and loosening it back on, are these little bad boys. However, what's really cool about them is that if you tighten them up and you don't like the way they're positioned because of the rails, well, don't worry. You can actually pull these out. Let me just tighten this up real quick. Give you a good example. Tighten this up. There we go. Say you don't like it because, well, one's pointing upward. Well, no worries. Like you just saw right there, I can just pull forward and pull back so that way it is facing each other, or if you're extremely OCD, you can have them pointing in one direction. Again, if you're extremely OCD. Now, there are some things I have to talk about, though, which are negatives, but we'll get into that when we actually talk about it. Now, before I go any further, I will admit that this doesn't fire... I don't want to say they don't fire exact 40 mics. I don't want to say that because they do... I do believe it fires predominantly proprietary ammunition. I say that, but there may be someone who will correct me in the comments section down below. Or someone's probably going to let me know and post-edit, and I'll put it right here on screen. Anyway, now, here's the thing. Before I continue, I need to give you guys some rules of the South, which my friend who sent this to me, which of course is Hicks.
I'd like to keep this handy for close encounters.
Not that Hicks. Broke one of the rules of the South. One of the rules of the South is this. Do not give rednecks explosives!
Of course!
Sadly, he broke that rule, and this was the result. Alright, just
Go out there and shoot out that tree, or
50 meters out, I believe. Hold on. Okay, and fire in the hole!
Boosh! Oh, that is actually very far.
is that done?
No,
I think that was the non-exploding one.
no, I think it should go off. We'll know if it,
That's done.
Oh, that was probably the marker, the dummy one.
well, it's supposed to have a fuse, so we'll know.
3.5 fuse.
Oh, this one should say, this one says,
Can I get one in then too?
yeah, but you're only gonna fire one of them.
That's fine. That's all I need.
Should say, okay, this one's got a 3.5 fuse, so that's the Reaper round. Okay, so it's not.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, go ahead and make sure it's insecure, my dude. Yeah, you're only shooting one of those, by the way. Because I need some of these for the game. Alright.
Shoot that heel, okay.
Yeah, make sure to line it up.
I know. What should I shoot at?
Shoot that heel.
I was thinking.
Shoot them gourds, though.
No. No.
Fire in the hole!
Oh, that was
Oh, it's
low.
got a fuse. It's got a fuse.
I don't,
Okay,
I don't think we're using that in a game.
I am!
Oh, you would have.
Oh, yeah. My turn. Ooh. What one do you want me to test out?
Okay, let's try the flat
Okay.
fuse. And the thing's
When you run
rifle.
out, I kind of want to get this off of you. That way I can order more.
Just so you know, you do have to pay hazmat shipping for each of those.
Okay, hold on. Safety's on. I'm gonna go out there and check on that one.
Okay.
You guys just.
Here.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk this out there. Don't you fucking fire it at me, all right? The hell? Oh, it did go off. Yeah, no, it did go off.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, we just didn't hear it.
Okay, you gotta show me where the safety is on this bad boy, or is...
It's
Oh,
pretty.
oh, okay. Let's go.
Fire in the hole. That one's got a fuse too. Oh my god. Now I know everyone's going to immediately call me out for not being safe. I'm sorry, I'm a redneck. Okay? I've lived down here in the South all my life. And until you guys have come down here to the South or from Florida, then you'd understand why not to give rednecks explosives, because when you give us explosives, we're just going to automatically throw rules out the windows and safety out the window. We're going to just blow shit up. Okay? Okay. Now, in saying that, I actually did test this out, and I'm not gonna lie, this thing actually reaches out a pretty damn good bit. The projectiles themselves, because they're rifled, yes, I forgot to mention that, it is a rifled round. You can actually see the rifling inside the barrel. So the rounds are, in fact, spinning out as they are going, which means you are going to get better range out of them. And I'm not gonna lie, the range is fucking insane! When I tested them, granted it was off camera, I am sorry for that, I actually tested it, and I was getting roughly over 200, almost damn near, if not over 200 feet. Some of the rounds were lobbing over my barn at 100 feet. Now, granted, if you know my shooting test, you know that where my barn is, it's sort of hilly. It's not exactly flat land, but flat land-wise, this thing's going well over 200 feet. It's fucking insane how good this is. It really is fucking insane. It really is. Now, some issues I've discovered with this bad boy. Okay. This right here. Well, let me get my pointer again. The valve right here, which is the valve system and the body, which you can see the screw right here. This screw, which this is the replacement for, the screw that was on there was stripped. I'm sorry to say, it was stripped and was completely rusted. Now, granted, this came out of Florida heat, which if any of you have lived in Florida, you know that Florida heat's a wet heat. You could shower on Monday and Friday, still not be fucking dry. In Tennessee, though, we have a dry heat. And when I mean dry heat, I mean dry! To the point you're getting nosebleeds out of fucking nowhere. Then again, anyone from Tennessee, sound off. You know what I'm talking about. So, for some reason, the seal itself, which was right here, the seal between the apparatus and the actual launcher itself, kind of didn't want to work. Didn't exactly like going from a wet heat to a dry heat. So I had to take some Teflon tape, or plumber's tape, and wrap around the son of a bitch a couple times before it finally stopped leaking. It wasn't until on the 5th CO2 and so many wraps later, it finally started to work. I thought I'd let you guys know this because Russia, I don't know what your summers are like over there, but you might want to consider having a material that's universal liking to all conditions. I'm talking from the frozen tundras of Siberia to the ungodly dry heats of Nevada. Just thought I'd let you guys know. Now, outside of that, do I think this is worth the price tag? No, not really. And here's the thing. I've praised this, and I've only given it one negative, but here's the thing, guys. I am AirsoftAL, the common man's airsofter. I help people on a budget. And when there are grenade launchers and even packages that are better priced for what you're getting, and they're just saying just the launcher itself is $800, yeah, no. If they're trying to get that to the American market, then that's a little bit different, and it's not going to fly. Because in reality, Taginn actually makes actual adapters, so you can fire their rounds out of your 40 mic, which is about $60. I say that because there is actual adapters on their website that is definitely well worth the price tag of below $60. So in a sense, and I'm dead serious here, you may drop money on a 40 mic, which is on sale $50. $60 you drop on that, and then you buy a thing that's roughly around $100 for just that whole thing, depending on the Taginn rounds you get. Now, here's the thing, guys. And Taginn, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be hostile to you. And believe me, you Russians are scary. Very scary, so I don't need you guys yelling, "Sugabliet!" breaking down my door and sending in the Spetsnaz. Or sending in Lloyd Tuchanka after me. Here's the thing. If you're going to actually try and sell this on the American market, I say lower it down to about $500. $550 at the most. You'll still be making bank and you'll still be making money. Hell, if you're going to sell this for around $800, shipping and handling included, actually offer a package deal. Actually offer not only the apparatus, the buttstock, to where the grenade launcher goes on, but also a box of your best or good beginner starter packs. I say this because here's the thing, Taginn. You make a really damn good grenade launcher, but then again, you're Russians. Okay, here's the thing. I know everyone's made the joke, but here's the thing about Russia. When it comes to blowing shit up, besides us Americans, Russians, they blow shit up! And they know how to make stuff that blows shit up. And the fact that they made this, that can lob literal training rounds, literal fireworks that are like miniature artillery shells over 200 feet, that goes boom, should tell you they know what the fuck they're doing. Should tell you, Taginn, that you know what the hell you're doing. Because Jesus Christ, I absolutely love your explosives. That's coming from a redneck who loves blowing shit up. That's coming from a Tennessean who loves blowing shit up. And by God, Taginn, if I could, I would love to get more of your explosives.
Stop! Stop! No, 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 no!
For totally unrelated, not blowing up propane tanks, reasons.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Reasons. And here's the thing, Taginn. For $800, it's not going to fly down here in the U.S. or even out here in the West. And I get it, you're a company, and I understand that rubles to USD is a lot different. There is a huge stark difference to how much a US dollar is to one of your rubles, or your ruble currency, or even the euro. Well, I'm not going to count the euro because the European Union is currently imploding on itself. But here's the thing, guys. I've been stalling, I've been rambling, but where does this thing fall on the scoreboard? Where does it fall? Price tag excluded because, again, that's being translated from a Russian currency that I myself am not fluent in, so I'm not going to count that against the launcher itself. But if I had to give it, and I'm dead serious here, if I had to give this thing a score, believe me when I say it misses my highest mark I could give. It misses the highest score, but I damn well can assure you it deserves no more, no less than a 9 out of 10. It is a must-own. The only reason it doesn't get my legendary rating is because of that one piece that doesn't exactly like, well, let's face it, it doesn't like the whole going from a tundra. Okay, you get what I'm saying, guys. The one piece in there does not like certain temperatures, or doesn't like going from one extreme temperature to another extreme temperature. So you're going to have to wrap that son of a bitch up in Teflon tape, or plumber's tape, more or less. But I'm not going to lie, guys, this is well worth the price tag. If you have $800, to my rich friends out there, grab one of these. It is well worth the price tag. Or for those of you who don't have $800, grab the actual shell adapter that allows you to actually fire fire the Taginn grenades themselves, so you can use it out of your 40 mic. Hell, anyone who wants explosives in general, go to Taginn, because I'm not going to lie, I've messed with their shit, Apex has messed with their shit. If you want something for simple home defense or getting those damn kids off your yard, Taginn. Go Taginn. And they're not sponsoring this. Before anyone starts saying, oh, you're sponsored, you say, no, motherfuckers, I am independent. I'm one of those guys that isn't sponsored by big corporations. And when I myself am saying it's definitely not worth the price tag if you don't got the money, but if you got the money, go get it. And the fact that they got a fucking 9 out of 10, Jesus H fucking Christ. Guys, this Christmas season, grab one of these bad boys. Get it! Get it! Get it! Get it! Get it to get those damn kids off your yard! Or to get those damn liberals off your streets! I'm sorry, guys. I got caught up in it. Anyway. Thank you all for watching. As always, I've been AirsoftAL. And a big thank you to Mr. Hicks. What am I saying, Mr. Hicks? To Hicks for actually sending me this, and it is amazing. Jesus Christ, I want one of these now. Anyway. Till next time, guys, I've been AirsoftAL, and I'll see all you lovely people in the next video. Till next time!